So guys, I'm Shawn Cheatham Junior, also known as Sean Navi, and I played Malik in Lady Mrs. short film Hood Pain. What made you want to be part of Hood Pain, and what stood out to you about the story? Well, first of all, I got the opportunity shown to me by my sister who sent me the information, and I had the whole rundown of what the character was going to be like, what he wore, what he acted as, his emotional state, all that whole rundown. And I remember reading it and I was like, okay, this sounds like a character I would actually play, because I'm also a little bit unfamiliar in terms of being actually in front of the camera. I have done camera work before, but not to the level of professional, like actual, like on set, having script by script and actually being in front of the camera as a primary actor as well. And I feel like that character would be a good launch for me to actually go into that. So when I first saw it, I was like, let me contact Lady Miz and let me get the script as well, because this is actually somebody I would want to connect to. Somebody I actually feel an emotional attachment to almost, because I feel like he has been through things that kind of go in lineage to the things that I've been through in my younger years. And even though he's a little bit more on the severe end and the more domestical, like abuse side of things, I feel like there's still a lens of empathy for me because I want the best for him. I'm also passionate. Malik is very passionate for what he cares about, and I feel a sense of connection to that character. So, was this your first time acting, being part of a production? If not, how is this experience different? So it was my first time acting in front of the camera in full production of things, outside of my participation in the behind the scenes camera things, because I'm also a cinematographer. So I'm usually the camera guy. I'm usually the director, producer. So handing that job to somebody else was low key. Like it was kind of like a let go. Very much like, okay, I'm gonna let the responsibility. I'm gonna lead the control to somebody else, right? And I trusted Lady Miz in her vision, and I'm glad I did because she's very talented, very calculated. She knows what she wants, and I'm glad what she wanted aligned with what I was able to do. And with that being my first time, was also very uncomfortable because I was doing things that I usually do not do. Because even though it wasn't my first time in front of the camera, it was my first professional time. So doing multiple different takes of paying attention to my emotional reactions, like, oh, like smile more, like do this, or a certain move will look better on camera than this move, right? That's much different than just doing a YouTube silly skit that I used to do a lot with my personal sister in 2011, where we would just do like stupid stuff and it's just like it's mindless and it's like, oh, that's it. And I feel like both ways of acting is very fun, but they're totally different from each other. And Hood Pain taught me a lot on how the actual side of professional acting goes. And especially since I never took any acting classes neither. So that also was a good look. What was the hardest or most emotional scene for you to film and why? I think the hardest was definitely for sure when I was arguing with the mom inside the house with Tiana in the arguing. It was very emotionally intensive. If I remember correctly, it was Malik. He came home, he was pissed off, and mom started things, and they just have very dissenting personalities, and it's always been like that since Malik was a child himself, and he is a child, but he's a little older than Tiana, so because of that, he kind of had an upbringing of taking care of his little one, right? His little sister, because he's technically the only one she has that actually is very attentive, make sure that she eats, make sure that she is well behaved and everything is under control. And that's something that Malik and Tiana's mom did not really really care about, to simply put it. And Malik has an internal problem with that. He already knew his mom wasn't, but the fact that she's still doing the same things from when Malik was a child, and she's not learning from her experiences, and she's not learning from the past of what she did to her kids. It's kind of like, okay, like mom, like you should be a better person, because Tiana, you could make an example out of me, but this is a younger sibling of mine. Like at least try to get better. And I feel like Malik felt like it was his responsibility to make it better for himself and his sister and his environment. You know, he had resources, but sometimes he doesn't know how to take it in as well. You know, with Miss Shirley and him stomping outside the house, that was a very also like a hard segue because it was showing that, you know, because he's dealt with so much, he's also learned to handle things on his own and he doesn't know how to accept help. So I feel like it was very like deep layers, very deep, emotionally intensive scene, and it was very interesting to shoot because also that was the day I also screamed probably the loudest. Like I shot that shot maybe like a good 5 to 10 times. So my voice was definitely, you know, like gone, but in a good way though, because it pushed my acting again, and it just showed on screen how much, you know, how passionate Malik is and taking care of what he really cares about. How would you describe the energy and chemistry on set while filming Hood Pain? Fun. Like I feel like everyone just had fun. Like everyone was lit, everyone was caring. We made sure we took care of each other. We were like, okay, you good? Are we hungry? You know, the lunch breaks, in between takes, we'll laugh, make jokes. You know, all the actors would literally like chill after break. Like all the people I'm beefing with as Malik on set, off cameras, we like best of friends. So it was almost kind of hard to become ops because it's like, damn, like I don't want to be mean to you, but it's part of the show. So it's like, okay. Now on that flip side, also me and Tiana and then her best friend Angie, the actors of those girls, I've been able to build some chemistry with them. We got to chat up. I get to take care of them because they're much younger than me. So I'm like, okay, I could look out for you as a older figure on set, but also the younger one, and I'm like Malik, so it was like whatever. I feel like that relationship dynamic kind of just made everything so much easier to film because it everyone liked each other, and I feel like when you like people it's easier to do things with them. You know, it's easier to communicate. You're not scared to say something about it, like, hey, like maybe this shot should look like this, or maybe we can make it better by adding this or removing this. And I feel like with Lady Miss's presence and leadership, I feel like that really helped us move on with the project and get things done faster. And I know offset of things that I was able to collaborate with certain people on set, like New Louie, who plays Shotty. um we're making music now because I'm also a music producer, to introduce myself some more. And we make a lot of things, and also we just I feel like that was a great opportunity to get to know people. It was just great to network. It was fun. The energy was good, and I feel like the experience of Hood Pain and the behind the scenes of it, being a part of the crew of things, I feel like that is something that kind of sets a precedent of what I look for in other sets that I will end up being on if I was to be an actor again, or a camera guy or director guy, whoever it is. I want that energy again. That's all I'm saying. After being part of this project, what did you learn about acting, filming, or eating yourself? It takes a team to make good stuff, right? I feel like it takes a team to make greatness because I feel like collaborating with other people, it lets go of that control, but it also makes your work better because you have different outputs, right? You have different people coming in, and it's like, oh, like I want this. Sorry, inputs. I said the wrong word, but it makes a better output, right? And you're like, oh, okay, this person's saying this person's saying that. And you kind of just make things together, and there's definitely things that other people will catch that you will miss, right? Like when I was doing my own film of Code Red, I was the director, producer of things, camera guy. And when I had my crew of things, my actors and some assistants, I was definitely missing a lot of things because I'm like, okay, I'm doing a solo dolo. I just want to do this and I want to do that and that's it. And then when I got to post production and things, I'm like, oh no, I forgot to do this. I forgot to do that. And the whole time it was in the script. So I feel like having that team of people of Hood Pain where everyone again was together and it just made sense and the chemistry was on point. I felt like a lot of people knew what they were doing as well. So the confidence that I got from everyone just made it so much better. And I feel like that taught me a lot being in that dynamic that I actually would meet people. It's okay to do myself projects sometimes, but depending on the level of production, it should be done by a team of 2 people, 5, 10, whatever. The size doesn't matter as long as you do it with more than one person that isn't yourself. Why do you think people should watch short film Hood Pain, and what message do you think they'll take from it? I think people that watches Hood Pain is gonna see the movie and they're gonna be able to watch like the ugliness of what it looks like to be neglected by a family member that's supposed to care about you, and the manifestation of that effect onto their children, right? The ignorance of greatness by kids, because kids can be very great and it can be watered down just because of their upbringing or the circumstances that they have to go through. And I feel like watching that and observing that could really teach people to not underestimate kids and their power and their potential, and to not water that down and to treat kids better, and to also broadly state that I feel like in the world of things you should also be more kinder to others because you don't know what they're going through. And I feel like a lot of people in Malik's life were very kind to him, and that was probably the reason why he was able to keep pushing. Otherwise, who would have known what would have happened to Malik if he didn't have a Miss Shirley or people contacting him on a phone call in a jail cell? And I feel like people should make everyone else's lives less miserable, because why make it harder? Right? Why was Malik and Tiana's mom making it hard for everyone? I feel like that one glimpse of hope of Angie pushing through with Tiana. Tiana was distracted with Angie as a way to cope with what she goes through from home. And Malik is Malik. He does his thing with the money thing, and he tries to garner money, and he's like, oh, I need to take care of my sister. It's very fixated. And I feel like he shouldn't have to worry about those things, because at the end of the day, be nicer to your kids, treat them well, make sure they're good, feed them good. It doesn't have to be like, oh, we go to Disneyland every single day type of treatment. That's also nice, but based off their circumstances, that kind of would be unrealistic. But also, the mom being more present could be way more beneficial to their relationship, and they'll probably be in a totally different spot in life. What I think I could have done better on Hood Pain, maybe I could have been more um I don't know. I think I liked what I did on Hood Pain. If I'm being honest, it was to my skill set for one. Maybe I could have acted a little better. Maybe I got to review some tapes and run it back. But in terms of me being there, I think I was very present. I connected as best I could with the actors themselves and the crew. Shout out to the camera guys and Lady Miss and her team, and just everyone on set that I'm just thinking of right now. And I feel like if there was a part two, I think I could bring even more. Who knows? And those people who I feel like needs to watch it is those who are in those situations, or the people who are ignorant to it. You know, the people who are going through the same thing and feel like they need something to relate to in film format, or those people who feel like those things don't matter, or the people. Another type of people is the parents, like the mom with Malik and Tiana. I feel like people, if they watch that and it's jammed in their heads that, okay, this is not a good thing, that could bring better change and it can make the world a better place. That's all I gotta say. So, I'm Shawn Navi. This is for Lady Mrs. Hood Pain. I hope you enjoyed. I'm signing out, passing the baton to them.